에야랑어로노 예야랑어 이야고노 아래야 부모이야
Fourscore and 8 years ago, on January 17, 1933, our founding scholars established the University of the Philippines chapter of the Honor Society of Phi Kappa Phi, known as Chapter 045, a most selective, multidisciplinary collegiate honor society dedicated to the recognition of academic excellence and engagement in national development. We were then the 45th member, recognized ahead of today's 350 chapters and 1.5 billion members. Today, then, we honor our founding fathers who were famous pillars of UP then. So their names are inscribed in our charter here. We have Gregorio San Agustin, Rafael Palma, Hermenegildo Reyes, Maximo M. Calab, Daniel de la Paz, Bienvenido Gonzalez, Francisco Benitez, Vicente Cinco, Antonio Sison, Vidal Aican, Jorge Vargas, and Armando Clemente. We also pay tribute to the installing officer, Professor Everett S. Richards. Recognize further the 5 of the 13 founding scholars who became UP presidents later. Rafael Palma in 1925 to 1933, Bienvenido Gonzalez, 1939 to 1943, Antonio Sison, 1943 to 45, Vidal Aitan, 1951 to 1956, and Vicente Cinco, 1958 to 62. We also honor the member UP presidents in recent decades. Former UP presidents Emmanuel Soriano, Emil Javier, Jose Abueva, Francisco Namense Jr., Emerlinda Roman, and our own present leader, Attorney Danilo Concepcion, all of whom we consider among the well-known members of the chapter. This only Asian chapter has since harnessed intellectual power in the university to help advance superior scholarship and national development. The past few decades, especially, have witnessed its active promotion of academic excellence through grants, awards, scholarships, publications, and conferences. It has also reached out to the different sectors of society in its roundtable discussions, symposia, cultural shows, and conferences featuring eminent Phi Kappa Phi members sharing their expertise, talents, and leadership in various disciplines and endeavors. Needless to say, its members have been brilliant gems scintillating in the different sectors of society in the local, national, and even international arenas. Our simple virtual ceremonies today honor all the members of our honor society. But more especially, we pay tribute to the Active for Life members who have made our society's love of learning their lifelong commitment in their decades of membership. Now we look at some snippets of our events as a society in the past 80 years.
UP President Emerlinda Roman receiving certificate of Phi Kappa Phi membership. Senator Francis Joseph Cheese Escudero receiving certificate of Phi Kappa Phi membership. Newly inducted member of Phi Kappa Phi, Senator Manny Villar, together with some Phi Kappa Phi chapter officers of the University of the Philippines. World-famous playwright director Anton Juan receiving certificate of Phi Kappa Phi membership. Health Secretary Esperanza Cabral receiving certificate of Phi Kappa Phi membership with International President Robert Rago and Phi Kappa Phi President Hilda Rivero. President Hilda Rivero and Vice President Adelaide Lucero with the guest of honor Senator Santanina Tila Rasul. Senator Santanina Tila Rasul delivering the keynote speech. Phi Kappa Phi inductees lining up for the membership certificate and pin on stage. Induction of new Phi Kappa Phi officers of the University of the Philippines Chapter or Chapter 045. 2018 Phi Kappa Phi inductees and audience at the UP Theater. Vice President Adelaide Lucero explains Phi Kappa Phi symbols in the induction ritual. Old and new board at the front row of the UP Theater. Dr. Leslie Bauzon in UPLB induction as alumnus. The Phi Kappa Phi board on stage at the 2014 induction ceremony. International Student Vice President with some of the Phi Kappa Phi chapter officers. 2011 Processional of Inductees with the Head of Marshal Dr. Coke Montano. Processional with the Phi Kappa Phi advisors Dr. Meli Ramirez, Dr. Silde Guerrero, and Dr. Sonia De Leon. Processional with Dr. Ines Belleza, Platinum Jubilarian 88th Anniversary of Phi Kappa Phi UP Chapter. More officers in processional such as Dr. Elvira Virano, Dr. Ramon Apoimo, and Dr. Ellie D. Guzman. 2010 Invocation sung by Dr. Jonathan Maliksi. Dr. Enrique Estrella as guest speaker during the Joint Honor Society's convocation. 2011 Special Recognition to Ramon Magsaysay Awardee, Dr. Victoria Bernido. Filipiniana Beauties of Phi Kappa Phi Induction Ceremony. Top graduate and undergraduate inductees lighting the Unity Candle. Head of Marshal Professor Fructuoso Sabio Jr. leading other officers. UP Baguio Induction Ceremony led with chapter officers Dr. Adelaide Lucero, Dr. Charita de los Reyes, and Professor Fructuoso Sabio Jr. Phi Kappa Phi officers preparing for the 2018 UP Manila Induction Ceremony. Dr. Gabriel Atiega and Dr. Bauzon in the Lecture of Excellence on Mazawa, not Ligmasawa. Former Phi Kappa Phi President and awardee for Veterinary Medicine, Dr. Teodulo Topacio with Phi Kappa Phi officers. August 24, 2020 Officers Induction with the Inducting Officer, Assistant Vice President for Public Affairs, Jose Wendell PKP. Dr. Emil Javier, the latest national scientist of the Philippines. Honorable Nelia T. Gonzalez, the founder of Phi Kappa Phi Philippines Foundation. Micaela Fidolig, the youngest summa cum laude and valedictorian of the University of the Philippines at the age of 16. Tiffany Uy, the University of the Philippines highest grade holder since World War II and number 5 in the physician licensure examination. Dr. Fidel Nemenso, the current Chancellor of UP Diliman, delivering the Lecture of Excellence on the topic of UP and the Fourth Industrial Revolution. Phi Kappa Phi speakers scientists Luli Cruz, humanist Adelaide Lucero, and social scientist Leslie Bauzon in one of the national conferences. Benazir Martinez, muralist of Cordillera Cultures. Nationally and internationally recognized Phi Kappa Phi artist Pakeng Berano with his sculptures. Young Phi Kappa Phi artist Taipan Lucero in NCCA solo exhibition with his Caligra Filipino. Special recognition to Carlito Amalia for being awarded the 2020 Outstanding Leadership and Culture at the Ors Award in New York, USA.
Dr. Maria Milagros Laurel, our chapter secretary, will present the certificates of recognition to the Silver Jubilarians.
The Honor Society of Phi Kappa Phi, Chapter 045, presents this certificate of recognition to the Silver Jubilarians for their continuing commitment to the Phi Kappa Phi love of learning and service to the nation, given in celebration of the 88th anniversary of the Honor Society of Phi Kappa Phi, UP Chapter 045 on the 31st of January 2021 at the Fonashir Hall, University of the Philippines, Diliman, Quezon City. Signed, Adelaida F. Lucero, PhD, Chapter President. Maria Milagros C. Laurel, PhD, Chapter Secretary. The following are the Silver Jubilarians: Elizabeth A. Alverio, Larinda E. Calma, Charmaine C. Cedrena, Lourdes G. De La Rosa, Carmel Grace S. Ferrer, Edgardo S. Fortuno III, MD, Mildred S. Ganaden, PhD, Leah Q. Lisolski, Irene G. Ong, Hailey Jean Peralta Pinto, Michael P. Pinpin, Abigail T. C., Maria Eileen A. Soriano, Raisa C. Tatad, Mary Grace S. Yao. This certificate of recognition is presented to Susan S. Navarro, Silver Jubilarian and former chapter's treasurer, for her continuing commitment to the Phi Kappa Phi love of learning and service to the nation. especially as a professor and mentor in the UP School of Economics, given in celebration of the 88th anniversary of the Honor Society of Phi Kappa Phi, UP Chapter 045, on the 31st of January 2021 at the Fonashier Hall, University of the Philippines, Diliman, Quezon City. Signed, Adelaida F. Lucero, PhD, Chapter President. Maria Milagros C. Laurel, PhD, Chapter Secretary.
This certificate of recognition is presented to Hilda C. Rivero, PhD, Silver Jubilarian and former Chapter President, for her continuing commitment to the Phi Kappa Phi love of learning and service to the nation, especially as a professor and mentor in the UP Institute of Biology and an academic leader when she was Chancellor of UP Mindanao. Given in celebration of the 88th anniversary of the Honor Society of Phi Kappa Phi, UP Chapter 045, on the 31st of January 2021 at the Fonashier Hall, University of the Philippines, Diliman, Quezon City. Signed, Adelaida F. Lucero, PhD, Chapter President. Maria Milagros C. Laurel, PhD, Chapter Secretary. This certificate of recognition is presented to Nelia T. Gonzalez, PhD, Silver Jubilarian and founder and first president of the Phi Kappa Phi Philippines Foundation, for her lifetime commitment to the Phi Kappa Phi love of learning and service to the nation, mainly reflected in her quote, Lifetime Distinguished Achievement Award from the UP Alumni Association for her top-notch projects in agriculture and agribusiness, for her leadership in various civic groups like the Philippine Constitution Association, the Philippine Tuberculosis Society, the ERDA Foundation for Street Children, the Manila Overseas Press Club, and the Tanyo Group of Companies, for her impressive involvement in women's studies, in corporate projects, including housing subdivisions and reclamations, as well as philanthropic foundations and alumni activities. Given in celebration of the 88th anniversary of the Honor Society of Phi Kappa Phi, UP Chapter 045, on the 31st of January 2021 at the Fonashier Hall, University of the Philippines, Diliman, Quezon City. Signed, Adelaida F. Lucero, PhD, Chapter President, and Maria Milagros C. Laurel, PhD, Chapter Secretary. Professor Fructuoso Sabuk Jr. will now present the certificates of recognition to the Silver Jubilarians.
We are now honoring the Ruby Jubilarians of the Honor Society of Phi Kappa Phi, Chapter 045, University of the Philippines. I'll read the citations first and then read the names after that. The certificate of recognition is presented to name for her or his continuing commitment to the PKP love of learning and service to the nation. Given in celebration of the 88th anniversary of the Honor Society of Phi Kappa Phi, UP Chapter 045, on the 31st of January 2021 at the Fonashier Hall, University of the Philippines, Diliman, Quezon City. Signed, Adelaida F. Lucero, PhD, Chapter President, and Maria Milagros C. Laurel, PhD, Chapter Secretary. I'll now read the names. Carmina Espiritu, Kenneth Hartigan Go, MD, Mark R. Ko, MD. Lourdes Ko, MD. Monica McKeever. Rene D. Ong. Robert Ong. Maria Enrica Patalunan, MD. Tiburcio Reyes. Jovenia A. Soriano Celo, MD. Santiago Toledo. Professor Carmen Gloria Diaz Ventanilla, PhD. We also give special recognition to a former officer of the Society. Let me read the citation. The certificate of recognition is presented to Emmanuel Luna, PhD, Ruby Jubalarian, former chapter treasurer, for his continuing commitment to the PKP love of learning and service to the nation, especially as a community development professor and mentor at the UP College of Social Work and Community Development, and later focused on disaster risk reduction at the UP Resilience Institute. Given in celebration of the 88th anniversary of the Honor Society of Kappa Phi, UP Chapter 045, on the 31st of January 2021 at Furniture Hall, University of the Philippines, Diliman, Quezon City, signed Adelaida F. Lucero, PhD, Chapter President, and Maria Milagros C. Laurel, PhD, Chapter Secretary. Thank you very much.
We come to the Golden Jubilarians. This certificate of recognition is presented to Professor Natalia Maria Lourdes M. Morales, PhD, Golden Jubilarian and former chapter president, for her commitment to the Phi Kappa Phi love of learning and service to the nation, especially as a retired political science and international relations professor and mentor in the UP College of Social Science and Philosophy, and as an innovative academic leader when she headed the Department of Political Science in the UP Office of International Linkages. Given in celebration of the 88th anniversary of the Honor Society of Phi Kappa Phi, UP Chapter 045, on the 31st of January 2021 at the Furniture Hall, University of the Philippines, Diliman, Quezon City. Signed, Adelaida F. Lucero, PhD, Chapter President, Maria Milagros C. Laurel, PhD, Chapter Secretary. The other Golden Jubilarians are Attorney Rafael Morales and Silverio Ramirez. Okay. Now for the Diamond Jubilarian, we have one great name, Professor Olivia C. Kawili, PhD. Okay. This certificate of recognition is presented to Professor Olivia C. Kawili, PhD, Diamond Jubilarian, for her continuing commitment to the PKP love of learning and service to the nation as a political science professor and mentor in the UP Department of Political Science, for her administrative and academic leadership as head of various offices in the State University and later in the University of the East, from chair of the Department of Political Science to vice president for academic affairs. For her assiduous support of research, not only in academia, but in the national arena as head of the National Research Council of the Philippines, and for her own significant research contributions, gaining her the NRCP's Distinguished Achievement Award and the International Association of Multidisciplinary Research as Outstanding World Researcher Award, given in celebration of the 88th anniversary of the Honor Society of Phi Kappa Phi, Chapter 045, on the 31st of January 2021 at the Furniture Hall, University of the Philippines, Diliman, Quezon City. Signed, Adelaide F. Lucero, PhD, Chapter President. Maria Milagros C. Laurel, Chapter Secretary. This certificate of recognition is posthumously awarded to our national scientist Chudolo M. Tupashi Jr., Diamond Jubilarian and former president of Phi Kappa Phi, for his long years of committed service to the nation and for his Phi Kappa Phi love of learning. Given in celebration of the 88th anniversary of the Honor Society of Phi Kappa Phi, UP Chapter 045, on the 31st of January 2021 at the Financial Hall, University of the Philippines, Diliman, Quezon City. Signed, Adelaide F. Lucero, PhD, Chapter President. Maria Milagros C. Laurel, PhD, Chapter Secretary. We have a loan awardee for the Platinum Jubilarian recognition. This certificate of recognition is presented to Professor Ines Belleza, PhD, Platinum Jubilarian and former chapter treasurer, for her long years of service to the Phi Kappa Phi, especially its love of learning and service to the nation. Given in celebration of the 88th anniversary of the Honor Society of Phi Kappa Phi, UP Chapter 45, on the 31st of January 2021 at the Financial Hall, University of the Philippines, Diliman, Quezon City. Signed, Adelaide F. Lucero, PhD, Chapter President, and Maria Milagros C. Laurel, PhD, Chapter Secretary.
Hãy subscribe cho kênh Ghiền Mì Gõ để không bỏ lỡ
posthumous recognition is presented to University Professor Emerita Amelia L. Bonifacio, National Artist for Theater, for her many years of commitment to the Phi Kappa Phi love of learning and service to the nation, especially for her 35 years of teaching and mentoring in the UP Department of English and Comparative Literature, in the Department of Speech and Drama, which she had helped to establish, and for her founding and nurturing Philippine Children's Puppet Theater as playwright director of Teatro Mulat, and placing the Philippines on the artistic map of world theater, and for the award-winning, socially committed plays that she has written. Given in celebration of the 88th anniversary of the Honor Society of Phi Kappa Phi, UP Chapter 045, and the 31st of January 2021 at the Financial Hall, University of the Philippines, Diliman, Quezon City. Signed, Adelaide F. Lucero, PhD, Chapter President. Maria Milagros C. Laurel, PhD, Chapter Secretary.
You